only place Salah is going is here or here. And I said the only place Mike McDaniel is going is he's going to either the head coach of the Tennessee Titans or he's going to be offense coordinator for the Chargers. I suppose, seeing as we're talking about egg ball, we might as well talk about egg ball first, and then we'll talk about Liverpool afterwards. And Charlie said to me, no, that's not going to happen. He's not going to accept an offensive coordinator role. And lo and behold, he accepted an offensive coordinator role in LA as just to take over from that shit show that was there previously. So you guys might win a playoff game.
Greg Roman.
And now, considering Patrick Mahomes is no longer in that division too, that's going to be a wide open division. You guys will have fun with that. The only team you'd really be chasing is Denver, but that all depends on how severe Bo Nix's injury as well, and if he misses the start of the season too, because he broke his ankle.
Well, I think, listen, with I think a lot of people, I think Lamar Jackson's really good. I think he gets vastly overrated at times because of his raw athleticism and playing ability. And I've really gotten arguments when people say, "Oh, Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback in the NFL." I'm like, no, he's not. He's good. He's really good, but he's not.
He's one of the best athletes in the NFL. I said this so many times. There's a big difference between athlete and quarterback. And Tom Brady has said the exact same thing. Is that you can have a cannon of an arm, you can have really good legs, you can have absolutely ridiculous mobility. If you can't read a defense, you're never going to succeed in the NFL, and that's what I mean. And that Lamar is a great athlete, but he's not a great quarterback, in my opinion. He's a good quarterback and can be platformed quite well with the right offense around him, but he's not a great quarterback, in my opinion.
No, I agree, and I'm not the thing is he's a better version of Michael Vick and Jalen Hurts, and he's a much accurate thrower than Cam Newton. He's also a much better version of Baker Mayfield because he's not that tall, but he's very fast and he has a good arm. He can zip it. He can read a defense. He's very accurate. All the mechanic things and the footwork, and he doesn't wait for the open pass. But the thing about Lamar Jackson, especially as a thrower, is that when you watch all Lamar Jackson's throws, I never once think that's a throw that only 3 people can make, or 2 people, or 1 person can make. Everything is very mechanical. Now, granted, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning were kind of the same way, but if you actually go back and watch the highlights, some of the throws that they would make, and even back in the day with Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers, is I think that's a ridiculous throw. That's a ridiculous throw for anyone to make.
But you see as well, those 2 guys had elite level processing. Peyton Manning would step up to a line and he'd know what defense you're running immediately, and then he would then audible out of it, send somebody in motion, move somebody over. He'd know, he'd change a route on the fly. He'd know where the soft parts were in that defense immediately. So that's kind of more what I'm getting at, is I would rather an average NFL athlete with an elite processing brain at quarterback than an average processing brain at quarterback and an elite NFL athlete at quarterback. That's just my own opinion on that.
I agree, and I feel like Mike McDaniel is this. The thing about the Justin Herbert conversation that everyone that people just seem to always repeat, and it's annoying as hell because it's so devoid of context, is that everyone who plays football and is in the NFL is yeah, Justin Herbert's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Everyone knows how great Justin Herbert is in there. Yeah. It's the reason Jim Harbaugh, regardless of what you think of Jim Harbaugh, he only leaves Michigan, which is probably was one of the greatest, if not the greatest,
he only leaves for a sure thing, and he only leaves for Justin Herbert. I completely agree with you. I've always liked Justin Herbert. I think he's a phenomenally talented quarterback.
And if you're Mike McDaniel and you're I want to be an OC and I get to control the offense, one of the great quarterbacks in our league. It's I could Josh. I mean, obviously at the time, he could go to Josh Allen, but he's probably Buffalo, West Coast, LA, Herbert. It's essentially he gets to build someone up from the ground up because Herbert's also still younger. He's 2 years younger than Lamar and Josh Allen, and he turns 28 in March. But 6 seasons, you can see from all of his coordinators, apart from Greg Roman, so Steichen and Moore, both went to win Super Bowls with Hurts in Philly. So they're obviously very good offensive coordinators. And when he had those, that's when he broke all the records and he was setting the league on fire. It just so happened that when he had Kellen Moore, the defense for LA was shocking. That's when Staley gets fired. And then for Shane Steichen, he was there when Anthony Lynn got fired. And that was when the Chargers were just lost so many 1-score games. So having this defense with Mike McDaniel in there, is this offense with Mike McDaniel is just going to be. They should be a playoff team and a top 10 offense this year, but they do have a tough schedule starting next year, so it is going to be interesting.
It'll be fun to watch. I'm very excited because I've always liked watching Justin Herbert. It's just, I think, as I said, you need to be able. Your quarterback. It's kind of a good tandem that your quarterback and your play caller nearly need to be in sync with each other, and they nearly need to be they have to be nearly non-verbal with each other, that they understand what's going on. Because as you see, if you have a quarterback and an offensive play caller that meld so well, take Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, for example, that's one example where Brock is Kyle on the field, and Brock is just so intelligent. He may not be the most athletic guy, but he's sneaky athletic too. But he has this processing brain, and I keep going back to that word, the processing brain, that he is able to run such a complex offense like Kyle Shanahan's offense, and it's second nature to him. And that's, I think as well, I think getting somebody like Mike McDaniel for Justin Herbert is going to be very, very, very interesting. And I think they have a chance to win the division. Personally, I think the LA Chargers will have a chance to win the division because Mahomes is gone for the year. Mahomes is gone. He's not going to be around next season. Bo Nix, you don't know the extent of that ankle injury plus sophomore slump that always comes around and hits. And it's the fucking Raiders.
I agree.
Let's be honest.
Speaking of processing,
it's the Raiders.
What's the name of the Irish airline that got in a fight with Elon Musk?
Oh, Ryanair.
Ryanair, yeah. That's good processing right there.
I've never seen such a beautiful insult in my life. Elon Musk calling Michael O'Leary, the guy that owns Ryanair, an insufferable special needs chimp.
And then he's like, isn't that an insult to chimps? Yes, it is an insult to chimps as well. It's just funny because Elon, he just made Michael billions for Ryanair.
Michael O'Leary is a funny guy because he doesn't take bullshit at all, and it's the funniest thing in the world. Because Michael O'Leary then turned around and was like, "I'm going to go over to the offices of X now, and I'm going to give them a free ticket for Elon Musk to fly if he wants." And then they put out, and I sent you the picture of it. It was very funny.
Yeah,
it's like the next there's 100,000 tickets on sale for €17 one way, and it's called the X Idiots sale. It's brilliant.
It is, but he also gave a press conference where he's like, he pretty much called Elon Musk a twat and an idiot because he's like, he doesn't understand what drag is in terms of a plane. It's like talk to Boeing or Airbus, and he's like, look, if they want to fund us, we'll gladly put it on there, but we know that 5%, 10%, even less, and the guy's like, actually, it's probably less than that would pay for Wi-Fi, even if it's €3.
They wanted to put the Starlink on it, whatever it was, and he said the extra 5% drag that would add would cost me $250 million. In fuel prices every year. I'm not fucking putting it on my planes. And he said that he called him a retarded twat. And Michael O'Leary turned around and said he's going to have to get behind a very long line of other people who also think I'm a retarded twat.
Yes. You say I have 4 teenagers. I have 4 teenage kids and stuff like that as well. No, it's absolutely funny. And it's just like it's just because, I mean, this is what Musk is, I know this is like, Elon is not a genius. He is someone that he has to shill all of his things. Otherwise his entire business model net worth plummet. Like if he can't, his entire net worth is built on Tesla stock options, which he used to finance X, and he uses for Starlink and SpaceX, which are all money loss in enterprises that are built up by government subsidies. So it's absolutely hilarious that Musk, this is his entire Musk business model, is to try to bully and use bots in order to get people to buy his shitty products. Get someone else to pay for his shitty products.
He's a dickhead.
He is a dickhead. I think that there was what's funny? It's like he was I think he threatened to shut off Wi-Fi because they were using Starlink in Ukraine for the Russian-Ukraine war. But also Russia's using Starlink too, so he's selling Starlink to both Russia and Ukraine at the same time.
He's such a shill, an absolute shill of a person, genuinely. But I think before we get too political on this, we might try and venture away from it.
No, football is the most political sport of all time. It's literally a working class sport. I hate this idea of we can't talk about politics in football. It's like, no, we can. Literally, the chairman.
No, it's not politics and football. It's not. There's a difference between politics and football and politics in football. Big difference. We're on politics and football currently at the moment. But we'll do a politics conversation a different time if you want to do that.
Speaking of politics,
Arsenal. Other thing that I wanted to chat about was obviously
Arsenal.
The Tennessee Titans have turned around and signed Robert Saleh. Like, they wouldn't let him out of the building. And I get it, it's great, but where the fuck do you have to take him now? It's really, really, really annoying that we lost him barely just after a season of getting him back. And I wouldn't mind if we were fully healthy, if the 49ers were fully healthy, we'd piss our way to the Super Bowl this season. If Brandon Ayuk doesn't decide to have an absolute brain aneurysm, if Nick Bosa's knee doesn't give out, if Fred Warner's ankle doesn't give out, Michael Williams doesn't rip an ACL in New York, Ricky Pearsall's PCL isn't shot to shit, and George Kittle's hamstrings and then subsequent Achilles don't fucking blow up, I mean, we walk all the way to the Super Bowl and win it at home. The fact that we were one game away from getting the 1 seed is very, very, very upsetting for me. But yeah, who do you think the Niners should target for their defensive coordinator?
Oh gosh, who's available right now? Sean McDermott. He's free. He's available.
Do you think
he plays a different? He was a defense coordinator for Carolina, and that's why Buffalo hired him, because he was part of the defensive coordinator, I think, in 2015. That got us to the Super Bowl that year. No, Sean McDermott's a great one. I'm trying to think who are other great defensive coordinators that are available at the moment. Raheem Morris, good defensive coordinator. Granted, he was fired.
That's who I want.
Raheem Morris would be good as well. I'm trying to think who else would be good fit.
I think they're going to. I think they're going to promote internally the guy that was basically Salah's assistant, Gus Bradley, is who they're going to put up.
I would love
Raheem Morris.
Gus Bradley was a defensive coordinator before, though. I'm trying to remember where
he was. Yeah, he's assistant head coach with us right now, but he was basically Salah's assistant and Salah's co-head coach, for lack of a better term. So I can understand the want to promote him. But I'd love Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris would be a fantastic acquisition. I think it's the preferred option is Raheem Morris is holding out for head coaching jobs, and I don't think he's going to go to Buffalo. I'm not sure where he goes that technically appealing right now.
Chargers, because Mike Minter's probably going to go to the Baltimore job. I think he's going to get the Baltimore head coaching job.
Well, you see,
that would be
that
would be my prediction.
But see, if he's going to go for a defensive coordinator job, I don't see why he wouldn't. I think if he's coming to the West Coast, like seeing who's coming back for us, and maybe this is maybe biased and a little bit selfish about it and saying "fuck you and your Chargers," but maybe if you were to look at the NFL landscape and you're looking at, all right, there's no head coaching jobs. Really, realistically, where you can go for a defensive coordinator job is Baltimore, Niners, Chargers. Where else really is looking for one right now? It's that kind of a thing. I think if you were a defensive coordinator, I'd nearly wait a year and see regarding the Chargers, purely because you don't know what that offense is going to be like. Like on paper, it should be amazing. Don't get me wrong, but you don't know what it's going to be like and click like next season with Mike McDaniel there, because if that goes tits up, you're now in an absolute shit show of a place. And don't get me wrong, that's the same for everywhere. You're trying to hedge your bets. Like, personally speaking, I think that it'll be interesting to see who ends up going to the Baltimore Ravens. Whoever ends up going to the Baltimore Ravens as the head coach to be the offensive coordinator as well will tell me more about who they want to get as a defensive coordinator. Because I've seen shouts for Cliff Kingsbury to go to please That would be the funniest fucking. That would be so funny. So if Charlie is sending me text being like, "Oh, we'll get Cliff Kingsbury. It's fine. He had one of the best running offenses in the league."
Don't tell me Charlie Webb is actually thinking. Is Charlie Webb thinking that Cliff Kingsbury is a good offensive coordinator? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, he is. He and I said it to him. I said, "Look,
he's fucking that's a fucking twat. That's an idiot. No, that's the fucking dumbest thing I've heard in my life. Cliff Kingsbury has years of showing you how he is good.
This is what I said as well.
He's good for a year, and because he doesn't adapt. Like if you give him a time off, he's the guy that does.
Charlie, I was like, I've watched him for years in Arizona. I've seen him for years at Arizona in a similar offense with a mobile quarterback with a cannon for an arm in Kyler Murray, and he shit the bed season on season on season and couldn't make it work.
So Cliff Kingsbury is fine as an OC for a year. You get a good year, then after that it's shit. And the reason why it's good for a year is because Cliff Kingsbury is the guy who overstudies for a year to get a job, and once he gets a job, he stops trying. He stops innovating. He's not Eric Bieniemy. He's not Mike McDaniel. He's not a savant. He is someone that really works hard for a year to get a new job. Then once he gets the job, he coasts, which I respect. He's got millions of dollars. I respect that. I respect someone that does that. But anybody here that's thinking that Cliff Kings, like the Ravens are going to look good for a year and then look shit in a afterwards, and that's just assuming that Lamar Jackson.
I think he's been around long enough that I don't even think they'll look good for a year. I don't think they'll look good for a year. I think they'll look good for the start of the season, and then they'll shit the bed like Cliff Kingsbury does every single time.
They'll look good for part of the regular season till October, till December. They'll look good till December, and then they'll hit a brick wall.
But then that'll just be the Ravens as they always were.
Exactly.
And maybe some people will start to realize that maybe, Harbaugh wasn't the problem. Maybe it's the fact that your quarterback and a running quarterback and a mobile quarterback don't work in the playoffs when you have to lean on them. They don't work.
Unless your name is Patrick Mahomes, who's not really a running quarterback. Unless you're Jalen Hurts and you have like a Hall of Fame running back.
But they don't lean on
that's
him.
True.
That's my point.
That's true. But you have like a great offensive line, a great defense, and a Hall of Fame running back. That's what you need for a running quarterback. You know, and they technically have that in Derrick Henry.
But see, that's my point. Like when push comes to shove in the playoffs,
literally
Lamar Jackson always shrinks. Lamar Jackson always shrinks. Running quarterbacks do not fare well in the playoffs. I have very rarely seen like nearly run first quarterbacks, if you want to call them that. It's like you're Lamar, you're Michael Vick, you're Cam Newton. The closest that ever got
Air McNair.
Like the closest, the closest that ever got to winning a Super Bowl was Cam Newton in the last 20 years?
10 years. 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
But that's what I mean. In the last 20 years, the only one to get within a couple of quarters of winning one was Cam Newton.
Steve McNair. Steve McNair was kind of close. Like when they would with Kurt Warner. I know he wasn't technically a run first. He was kind of a hybrid like McNabb was. You could say McNabb was kind of a run first quarterback back in the day. I mean, it's hard because it's a different sport. Like the sport 20 years ago is just way different than it is now. Because now it's
completely evolved.
Yeah, for better and worse. As Tom Brady would say, it's like, before you would learn a program, but now you learn a playbook, which I think is a really good analysis by Mr. Thomas Brady III. I forget his first name. It's the middle name actually. Thomas Robert Brady. Thomas. I forget what it is actually. His full name.
I think it's Robert. Yeah.
Robert. Yeah, because he's right. Quarterbacks. Not every quarterback, but you saw it with Phillip Rivers. Like most quarterbacks today don't learn a program; they learn a playbook. In the sense that they are not there to diagnose a defense, like you mentioned with processing. They are there just to run a play and have like one or two audibles for that play, which the audible is usually run pass option or quarterback or a draw play, which draw plays from the shotguns. Let's just stop that. Any offense coordinator that's running draw plays from the shotgun, stop that now. They don't work. They don't work like you think they do.
It's funny because you could see it when Phillip Rivers came back and played, and he played against the 49ers at home. And you could just see him sat in the pocket as overweight and out of shape as he was. And he was like, oh, cool. I've seen this offense like 1,000 times, or I've seen this defense like 1,000 times. I know there's going to be space right there. So I'm going to audible this guy to go there because I know I'm going to make the pass there. And just that simple. Like, and I do find him quite funny to be in such an intense sport to never curse. I find him such an enigma of a human being. Like, he won't curse, but he'll pump out 12 kids.
He's also Catholic. He's Southern. He's Southern from Alabama, Catholic, and doesn't curse. Like, it's the weirdest combination. Like, the South, like the American South is not usually Catholic. You're usually like Baptist, Pentecostal, Presbyterian, some sort of like, Protestant.
Such a weird human, man, but I love him.
I do. I love him too. Speaking of out of shape,
every time he scores a touchdown, he's just like, dang gummit. And I'm like, yeah, man, you're not a prospector fucking looking for gold, man. Say the word fuck. Just say it once.
Speaking of overweight, Victor Gyökeres and Arsenal, Liverpool. We'll actually get to the round football now. So, the Arsenal Liverpool game, I think people were bitching and moaning about the result because that's what Liverpool Twitter does, because they have shit for
comments, by the way, something I wanted to ask, or is anything?
No comments. They're dipping in and out. We had like 5 people at once on TikTok, which is nice. But yeah, the TikTok live thing is always weird, but it has you like as a gamer, not as a sports commentator, which is funny. So it's in your gaming channel. That's fun. That's fun as well. Yeah. Well, again, you can always pivot to Twitch. It's always free just go to Twitch and just bite the bullet and be like a Twitch streamer. Be like Kai Snat.
I'd turn into Angry Ginge and I'd fucking hate that.
So, I mean, listen, I think we could summarize the Arsenal Liverpool game as I think it's a tale of two halves. I think Arsenal are very good the first half. We're robust and we held on. Second half, we're much better, but by then we're gassed and we don't get a shot on target. So our XG is practically non-existent. But again, I think that we play that game pretty well. The fact that Arsenal were going to have to rely on a Gabriel, I'm not going to say his last name, set piece at the end. Was the best chance. Yeah, I'm not saying that name. And I speak Brazilian Portuguese. I refuse to say that. But I think you see, I can't stand the Arsenal glazing, and people say you just have to admit Arsenal are good. I'm like, I will not admit some things because I can watch Arsenal play, and I can tell you right now they are the same team they've been for 3 years, except less inventive. So that 22-23 team was, yes, they were like Arteta hit upon a shape. He mimicked what Pep did, but did it his own way. And then for the past 3 seasons now, they've very much been the same. 4 center backs, 4 DMs at times, pretty much, and 2 forwards, essentially. Essentially, it's the idea of like, Saka go get a penalty. He's only scored 4 open goals, I think, in the last like 2 years. But Bukayo Saka scoring 4 open goals, like 4 open play goals 2 years. And I was watching a video today, I think it's like Football Simplified, and I actually subscribed for them because the video, I actually really hated the video, and I felt like it was too AI generated, that said that Arteta is leading the innovation on the next round of tactics for man-to-man marking. He's arguing that positional play is dead, and now we're having man-to-man marking. And I was like, no, Arteta's not doing that at all. He's doing a hybrid zonal and man-to marking system, which you can see if you watch the games. Like, De Zerbi does a high man-to-man marking system that does these weird hyper-fluid, hyper man-to-man marking systems. Gasperini at Atalanta, now Roma. I don't know if he was sacked at Roma recently. I haven't kept up with Serie A this year. He does a hyper man-to-man system. And yes, man-to-man systems are the big reason why positional play has been so bad this year, like not just for us, but City and Chelsea and Arsenal, because we're all positional play teams, if you want to over summarize it as well. And I think it's fine to say Arteta is a good manager. I think Arteta is a good manager. He's a good manager. He's a good coach. He's a good manager. He's a good coach. He's done well. Look, just see, he has not won anything yet. That's why I don't get the glazing. It's like Slot has actually won a league title, and he's gotten more shit than Arteta did when he was like losing to Brentford like 3-0 on the opening day, or 3-0 like what was it? What would it be now? Like 4 years ago now? Like, and they were getting stomped by Thomas Frank's Brentford.
That's what I find funny about the criticism of Slot. Like, he even said it in in one of the pre-game interviews or something, or one of the interviews. He was like, "Okay, everyone found the Arsenal game great, and we created nothing, but everyone hated the Burnley game, and we created loads. And you thought that the Arsenal game wasn't boring, but we created nothing, but the Burnley game was boring, and we created loads."
So yeah,
like, it's just, he just called out the hypocrisy of it. Like,
well, because, and again, I think it's because it's the context of the league position. So Arsenal, it's a way you don't have a full squad. They're like, we understand that we're going to play for the draw. Burnley at home, it's like you expect to win that game. And I think that is, that I think that's like, you're perfectly fine to be upset with that, because like we should have beat Burnley. Like, I'm just saying as it is.
We should have, but like, for it's such tiny margins. Like, for people to give out about it when it's like, on another day, Cody Gakpo has 2 goals and Szoboszlai puts away a penalty, and you're winning that game 4-0.
Yeah, we missed the penalty.
And Burnley's one shot on target is a goal. Like, what the fuck? Like, and then
it's his first Marseille goal, and it's a great finish, and he beats, and like Alisson probably could do better.
But then we get Marseille where Alisson pulls out a couple of saves. They had a 1-on-1 where he skies it, and then we get the luck by getting an own goal along with an unbelievably well taken free kick by Szoboszlai, and then obviously Gakpo gets his goal. And you're kind of like, the luck is coming in massive waves for us, both sides of the ball so far this season, and it's funny to watch, because I end up being proven right more and more and more, because you're watching the luck play out in front of us. Like, we had 2 goal line clearances and a penalty missed against Burnley and only scored the 1 goal. Meanwhile, they had 1 shot on target and they scored it. Then we go to Marseille, Alisson pulls out a few saves, they miss a couple of sitters, 3 past them and keep a clean sheet. You're like, that's just fucking football. And it just seems to be that it's like a roller coaster for us this season so far. And it's weird, like, because
we spent money.
I don't understand the criticism.
Okay, well, here's the thing. So the historian Robert McGargy, he's dead now, but he's great. George McGargy, not Robert. I get Robert stuck in my head. George McGargy. He's an American historian. Very, very good historian. He's dead. Most people don't know him unless you study like specifically like German history. He called this phrase operational dark zones. He mostly wrote about military history, which is that people that should be smart and know better, when you don't have information, you fill those gaps of information with, your biases.
Yeah.
Essentially, your preconceptions. So when people see that they've had since last year, but didn't say because, we won the league, you probably seen the chat. Everyone's like, well, we've been playing shit since February of 2025. I'm like, yeah, we stopped playing for like 2 months. We stopped playing for 2 months. Like, yeah, that PSG game was bad. PSG game rinsed us, and they should have won. We won 1-0. But again, they scored 1 goal and went to penalty shootouts, and we could have won that game too. Like, that's European football.
For that game, goal line clearances and Konate and Alisson having a brain fart that led Dembele to getting the goal, and you're kind of like, yeah, well, that wouldn't have happened if Alisson didn't have a game of his life in the first leg. Okay, but he did. It doesn't matter. He did. And that put us in a position to win the second game where there was multiple goal line clearances. Like, okay, but if you want to turn it around, then let's say PSG put 3 passes in the first leg. Okay, well, we could have very easily put 3 passes in the second leg based on the performance. Like, so what's your fucking point?
Again, that preconceived concept as well. So so we draw at Arsenal. We then play Barnsley. I think we 4-1 winners easily. Apart from Dominic Szoboszlai trying to backheel it to Alisson in his pin box, being a bit too calm on the ball. A bit too calm on the ball. Should be fined a week's wages for that. In my opinion, should be fined a week's wages for
taking out and fucking putting the what's the name of that medieval torture device? The bronze bull. That's what he should be fucking thrown into.
No, that's antiquity. That's not actual. We don't know if that was. That's from Minoa, the Minoan Society, which is Crete. That's Minoan.
This is why you don't bring shit up with a historian.
I'm a fucking know-it-all. I know it. I'm very aware of my weaknesses, my strengths and weaknesses. Like this, people love me and hate me because I know everything. I don't actually know everything, but it just seems like I do because I just remember tidbits. But yeah, no,
yeah,
it was.
I with me too.
But obviously, everyone like complained about how slow it was. And again, I think Slot said it, and I argued with everyone in the chat because I'm like, I feel like no one really because I haven't watched the press conferences because I'm busy, and like press conferences just like I just haven't been paying attention to them. I actually watched them, and he's like, I'm like, it's like we're not trying to play slow. You're facing a low block. You're just going to play slow, and I'm like, yeah. Has no one ever watched a game versus a low block ever in their life? It was Klopp in 2017-18, 18-19, 16-17, 19-20, 20-20. Like every season on a Klopp that we faced a low block, we had the same issue. The what we figured out though under Klopp was, well, if you have two of the best fullbacks in history, you can just have them hit the byline, and you have two of the one of the best deliverers of the ball in Trent Alexander-Arnold. You can just put in endless crosses and endless set pieces, and you'll eventually get a goal. But that 18-19 season, we literally lost the game to Leicester. Or sorry, we drew to Leicester and West Ham because we were not good against a low block. We had the 1-1 against Leicester, the 1-1 against West Ham, which, would say cost us the league tie with those two back-to-back draws when City were dropping points. And we still ended the season with 98 points, but, low blocks, they weren't, this was the best Leicester team they ever had. I don't, people who complain about us playing slow against Barnsley, I'm like, when you play against a low block, you're just gonna have moments when they're slow, and you can watch the players. The players are telling themselves, like, stop, like, let's get position, let's move up, let's get into spots. Like, that's not Slot telling them to do that. He's coaching the players. When you get into a position, we want to look for space, and if you don't have the numbers, wait. That's basic. That's just basic offensive possession. Slot's like,
but it's the fact that people are saying like it's like, oh, this is boring side to side football, playing it back between the center backs and playing it sideways between the midfielders, and I'm kind of like, yes, that's exactly the point. When you're playing against a low block, you are more often than not playing against a much worse team. So how do you beat that team? You use your quality and your fitness and your legs. So what do? You rock them back and forth, left and right, over and back, looking for penetrative passes, waiting for one of them to jump, and then making the pass. Then making the pass. And it's just, for people that watch football on a regular basis and nearly a couple of times a week, if not more, and watch multiple teams, for people to not understand the very simple concepts of why football teams are doing what they're doing. And like, there's a reason we're going, and then people are like, oh, why do we keep passing it back to Van Dijk, and why do we keep passing it back to Alisson and Konate? And I'm like, so we pull them out of their low block, you silly fuck. We invite pressure on to our ball-playing centre-backs who are great with the ball at their feet, who can then pick a pass. We get in behind their low block, and now all of a sudden we're in on goal. That is the entire point of playing backwards and playing sideways football.
And it's not even getting behind the defensive line. It's about getting in between the midfield and the defensive line. It's not even trying to run in behind the defenders. Like, yeah, that's
it's space manipulation. It's exactly like the NFL when you put a guy in motion. You're moving somebody to create space somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's why the NFL is such a tough game, because the hash marks are so narrow. So you have so little space on either side to play with. Unlike college, where you have like 100 yards, like horizontally on one side of the field, pretty much, of area to cover. And yeah, you're trying to manipulate space. And again, I think that like Wolves shows you exactly how to do it. When we had those 2 goals, it was great space manipulation and playing quickly. Where like we've pulled them out of their shape, we played quickly, we scored 2 goals. Like, the idea is that you play tempo. You're playing a slower rhythm so that you can go fast. We pull them in shape fast. That's what Klopp did. What Slot's been trying to do. Like, Slot is not telling them play slow.
It's like a boxer that's slowly like this and this and this, and then all of a sudden the quick jab comes. Like,
and Xabi Alonso plays a slower type of brand of football than anybody else.
Don't say that. Don't say that, because
they literally do statistically. Okay. Like, I've said that. Steve, you were there 2 years ago now when I said this. I said,
I know.
Whoever succeeds Klopp, if it's not Xabi, I feel bad for them, because the instant it goes wrong, they're going to get like tortured, like by this, like thrown under the bus by everyone. Like, the fact that Slot had to field a question about Alonso, and then people are criticizing his response. Like, what the fuck is he supposed to say? He's like, oh yeah, I got him on this one right now.
I'm very happy with what Virgil van Dijk said. I am unbelievably happy with what Virgil van Dijk said.
But he lost the dressing room, Steve. He lost the dressing
room. Of
course,
he lost the dressing room. Of course he lost the dressing room. They're not playing for him anymore.
Lost the dressing room on a sort. He did, yeah.
They're not playing for him anymore. Yes, that's why Chiesa ran back and got a goal line stop. Yes, that's why Szoboszlai is out there running his heart out. Yes, that's why, we're out there pumping Marseille 3-0 while Milos Kerkez puts that little rapist rat in his fucking pocket.
And again, what are the let's take the criticisms of Slot this year that here are the ones I agree with. He's been bad with subs at times. I agree. And Klopp's been bad at subs over years. Subbing in the league he's been bad at times for subs. I agree with that. Has his shape been wrong at times? I think so with the players he has. And I think that's more down to injuries and form and trying to figure out the problem. So I think that his shape has been inconsistent at times. Again, I think you criticize him that as well. What did I say? Shape, subs, and starting lineups. And I feel like the starting lineups have been like he's picked the best players that I would say were available. But if you look at the team, Frimpong's gotten much better. He looks like a fullback, and I was worried that he would be too lightweight, but he's gotten stronger. He's there. Kerkez has looked really, really good. He just hasn't got his decision making the final third is getting better, but he's been very good, and he's been very good with Wirtz. Wirtz has gotten a lot better. Ekitike has hit the ground running, went through some dips in form, and I think he's I think with Hugo, it's a situation where the goals. I'm just waiting for more goals to come. Because he should have scored yesterday. That chance he gets from Dom where he hits the post, he hits it too hard. He first time
he could have had a goal and an assist. He didn't hit. Yeah. If he doesn't hit the post and Salah decides to use his right foot,
and then he's offside for the goal from Dom, which he probably could have checked his run. Again, he's a young striker, but he's shown consistency that Nunez didn't show when his first couple of seasons. I would argue he's been cooler about not letting misses ruin his overall game. Darwin was it got to him. It wasn't that Darwin didn't have the talent or the ability or the mentality. It's just that he really wanted it so bad it was actually hurting his overall play. Well, I'm not saying Hugo doesn't want it as bad. He obviously does, but he's obviously not letting it affect him as much. Let's see. Isaac was coming to Isaac. Well, yeah, he was like, français. Oui, Paris, parlez français. We only speak French in this chat. I know like 5 sentences in French to get through Paris. Mostly
absolutely zero.
Oh goodness. Isaac was coming to the fore. I think you saw that before, the tackle by Van de Ven. And obviously we don't know when his recovery is going to be. We know he had to get surgery. We don't know how bad the fracture was with his leg. It's one of those where we might see him in March. We might see him for the rest of the year. Who else would we buy? Mamardashvili. It's hard to judge him. I think he was better when we figured out he was left-footed, not right-footed. But I think that Mamar is we're just going to have to wait till Allison goes to really evaluate him. Who else did we buy? Who were our new players? I'm missing one, Steve, from our new lineup that we bought. Well, yeah. So yeah, Giovanni Leone was brilliant, and then got a season-ending injury that just happens as well.
Yeah.
That's
the thing as well. I think about a new manager, which is the funnier thing about it. A new manager doesn't magically fix Leone's ACL. A new manager doesn't magically make Isaac's knee leg better.
Fixed.
A new manager doesn't make Connor Bradley fit. A new manager doesn't bring back Mohamed Salah's 2 steps of pace that he's lost over the last 2 years, or his
just
touch.
His touch.
I don't. None of that happens. None of that's. A new manager doesn't stop Ibrahima Konate having brain farts and just handing penalties to teams for no fucking reason whatsoever.
To be fair, we just learned his dad died, so his dad may have been sick because he was playing bad, and he wasn't talking to his dad.
It could have been. It could have been. Look, we don't know the ins and outs of it. We don't know how long his dad was sick. If his dad was sick for quite a while, it clearly makes an awful lot more sense.
Or McAllister dropping out, his form being his fitness and form just dropping off this year. Who it has gotten better, he's recovered. I think he was carrying an injury for a long time, and it just took him so long to get over the injury, get back to form. McAllister was one of the best. I don't understand also the revisionism of Alex McAllister is somehow a shit footballer. Sell McAllister. I'm like, why. We were talking about him like one of the best midfielders we've ever bought because he is. He's a very good midfielder. And he was like, well, he doesn't have pace and he's slow. I'm like, he's not fucking slow. He's not fast, but he's not fucking slow. Like, he's the reason Argentina won that World Cup with Messi. He's the whole reason they won that World Cup. Like, again, and again, another criticism of Slot, he should get the best out of Wirtz. He is. And the problem wasn't that he wasn't setting up Wirtz to succeed. It's that Florian was getting the grips with the league. You know, his confidence was not there. And now he's scoring and banging goals and assists. Is he really doing anything that different than what Slot was doing? A little bit. We've now figured out that Florian is best in that left half channel. Not so much left wing, but like in that left half space, drifting in, occasionally popping on the right, but very much being in that left space and alternating with Hugo. I mean, we saw this with the Marseille game. We'll talk about the Marseille game more in depth, Steve. And I'm kind of doing a brief overview of covering out all the news and stuff. But again, I like that Burnley game. That goal is a confidence goal, and like he misses that goal. That's the goal he misses at Palace, which he should have scored. That's the goal that he doesn't get
scored against Marseille too. If he didn't take that touch.
Yeah, he should have scored against Marseille, and that's just a confidence thing. That's not an ability thing. That's just him having the confidence to shoot on either his right or left his left foot, and he's getting more and more confidence as we go throughout. And again, this thing I keep saying to people, and people like I keep arguing, like, the reason you don't sack, like, I understand after PSV when we had those 9 losses, if you just said, all right, we got to make a change now, sack him and put an interim in. Like, part of me is like, okay, I get that because there's just been so much going on. Maybe this is the best time to do that. People who are calling him to be sacked now, I'm like, why? You're in the Champions League, like you're gonna qualify for the last 16, last 8. You're going to qualify.
The win against Marseille, in my opinion, is what secured us. The win the other last is what secured us top 8, in my opinion. Yes. Because I don't see how, if we put a full strength team out, we should absolutely blow Karabakh off the pitch. And they're playing for. But like it'll all depend on fixtures for that night, like who's playing who. Because I think Newcastle play PSG, and they're right around us, the two of them.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I will be back in just 1 minute. Feel free to talk shit for a couple of minutes.
No, you're good, Steve. We'll wait for you for a second. I'll wait for you a second. Wait for everyone to join in.
Oh, and we're back.
Yeah, there we go. Everyone's got to stop and take a shite for a minute. No, listen, like, you know, this is the thing, though, is that we'll talk about the Marseille game, but the reason why, like, if you wanted to sack him after PSV, I get it. Like, you know, the run was so bad, everything was so negative, just to refresh everything, I get it. You don't sack him now. In the summer, maybe, because Hughes and Edwards both have a year left on their contract. So, like, Richard Hughes only signed 3 years, Slot had 3 years. I think Edwards only had 3 years as well. So none of them have
Edwards is re-signing, and Hughes are re-signing. I can guarantee you that 110%.
I agree, but that's a decision they'll have to come to in the summer when they have to look at the end of things as well. Because again, we're 7 points off second and third. I know we're 14 off the title. 14 points with 17 games to go is not insurmountable. Is it gaining a point of Arsenal a game?
But here's the thing that I want you to know how small the margins are. We could have been 2-0 up at halftime to Sunderland, but then we concede a massively deflected goal and get one of our own back. So happy days. But we could have gotten an extra 2 points there, right? Leeds away, we should have won that game. We were cruising at 2-0. Konate decides to fuck it up, so that's 4 points. Then you have Leeds at home. Again, another game we should have won. We put so many chances towards and we just couldn't get any to go into the back of the net, unfortunately. And then Burnley at home. Again, could have won that game 4-1 or 4-0. Missed a penalty and 2 goal line clearances. That's 8 points on top of what we have at the minute. We would be on 44 points in second place, 6 points behind Arsenal, if just those 4 fixtures actually went the way they were supposed to go, which is how small of a margin it is. Like, we could go on a tear of a couple of games now and win 4 or 5 games in a row, and all of a sudden we're sat behind Arsenal if they drop points. Like, the pressure is on them. They're leading the pack at the moment, and I think they might stumble a couple of times between now and the end of the season if Erling Haaland can decide to get out of whatever funk he's in and actually start, scoring again. Man City will catch them, and with them after signing Mark Gahey to 300 grand worth of a fucking contract, that's silly money. And the absolute head loss over losing out to fucking Man City for him, and I said it for so many times, and you can see it on the videos that I posted. The only fucking reason Mark Gahey leaves in January is if he gets the same money he was going to get in the summer anyway. And the only team that will be willing to do that is Manchester City. And if you're going to sit there and tell me, like most of these online idiots, that we should have just paid the 300 grand for Mark Gahey and make him the 3rd highest paid player on our squad, more than Wirtz, more than Ekitike, more than Isak, more than Ryan Gravenberch, more than McAllister, more than Szoboszlai, more than Konate. And then immediately you have Konate, who's in contract talks, see Mark Gahey walk in the door with 300 grand and be like, I want that. Please and thank you. I don't cost a transfer fee. I'll have 300 grand a week as well. Thank you very much. Otherwise, I will leave on a free. I don't think people understand how the finances of football and the squad building works. And it's fucking infuriating at times, because it feels like you're banging your head against a wall.
You see it with the wages. Like, they just gave the wages report and everyone's like, hey, look at Liverpool with the highest. First of all, that was 24-25. So it had all the bonuses paid out to all the staff and the players. Like, we still technically have the 3rd or 4th lowest wage bill. Like we're 3rd or 4th, I believe. Yeah. Like, City have a higher one than us. And I believe that Arsenal have a higher one than us at the moment. Like, that kind of wage bills. And again, we won the league last year, 24-25, is the Liverpool thing. So yeah, we won first, and we had the most wages paid out in bonuses because we have a very bonus incentive structure to.
Oh, by the way, we also cracked £700 million, the first team to do it without nefarious means in league history. So
yeah, the first
thank you very much for that.
First halal way of doing it as well.
First kosher halal 700 million.
Which is why they should do a price freeze for the next 5 years, in my opinion, on like season tickets, in my opinion, right now, because we like economics of football, getting priced down. Economy fucking sucks, and we're about to go into an economic collapse when the AI bubble burst. We're about to go into recession.
I went from takes over Greenland. There's that too.
Yeah, and Trump's gonna start World War III and cause economic and the Chinese.
He'll be dead before war. He'll be dead before World War III comes out.
Trump is about to usher in the Chinese century by trying to take Greenland because he didn't read because he fell for Eric the Red's propaganda and he thought Greenland was.
That's literally what one of my mates told me. He was like, somewhere up in Valhalla or some shit like that. He was like, Eric the Red is looking down, smiling that his ruse worked.
Yes, it wasn't someone. Did you know that Greenland is the most green country in the world? It's greener than Steve's background back there. Go Ireland. I support Irish unification. Like Trump, ironically, would go to Ireland and be like, I don't understand why it's in Northern Ireland.
He wouldn't be welcome. He'd be thrown back on the plane and told, get the fuck out.
They'll love him in Ulster, though. They'd love him in Belfast. You know that. The Northern Irish should be like, get them over. Well, like, I can't do a Northern Irish accent because it's like Ireland, but Tory. It's like Irish, but like, it's like Irish, but not. Like Trump's politics are just. Trump's politics are what benefits me most in the moment, either financially, socially, or personally. And usually those are not in the those are not in.
I think he's dead by independent. I think he's dead by July 4th.
That would be funny. That'd be funny as well. Back to the football, by the way. Burnley game. Yeah, I think the Burnley game is just a classic example of you don't score your chances, this is what happens. Again, we have so many games throughout history under Klopp as well. And again, I think one of the things we've started doing lately, which is good, is that we've not going behind in games as much, which I think is good. We're not conceding first, and so playing from behind. So that's like part of like why we've been doing this mid block a bit more, not static possession, but a lot less like a more structure, more rigid setup, like that 4-2-4 out of possession press 4-4-2. Somewhat of like a 3-2-3-2 build up shape. There's been weird tweaks we've been making. Again, this is what Slot's good at.
Against Marseille, it was very much a 3-2-2-3 build up.
Yeah, and sometimes it looked like a box. Sometimes they looked like you mentioned, like with.
It very much was a box. I have it here. I'm going to bring it up because this was really interesting against Marseille. Because I want to see if I can get it up here, and I'll share my screen.
But this is the thing that when people criticize Slot, like, just figure it out. Like people criticize them saying I could throw out my
he is figuring it out.
Play differently. Yeah, well, that's the thing. People said like, oh, we can criticize his when he said I could throw out my pre-match report because everyone changed the way we play. I'm like, yeah, if you're saying this is how we're going to play against his team and they completely changed the way they're approaching it, and he's like, okay, we have to change what we need to do. Like that happens all the time. Like Guardiola is very famous for that happening into him a lot. Like this happens to a lot of coaches.
This was our passing structure. So like Ekitike was about here, Salah was about here, Frimpong was up here. You had Szoboszlai in behind, and then Gravenberch quite literally was here. Wirtz was here, and McAllister was here. You then had Kerkez kind of roaming about here a little bit. Van Dijk was here, and Gomez was here. Immediately,
and then
you stack the box.
Yeah,
that's what we were doing because Marseille set up in a 4-4-2, and we just decided to stack the box. And this is more like Ekitike was actually a little bit further out here, and Wirtz was just a little bit more in. I'm out here now because I done it on my breakdown earlier. This is more or less what it looked like, and that's more so the interesting part of it is that this is how we broke them down. Is that we just clogged middle and made them go around us. And we secured the middle of the pitch and made them go down the flanks, which is what we were talking about earlier of stacking the box in the NFL. And if you don't know what that means in stacking the box in the NFL, so the quarterback is right behind the center and he sees an imaginary box immediately behind the defensive line, and it has X amount of players in it. If they are stacking the box, that means fucking run into the box because you're going to be outnumbered and you're going to get tackled. You're going to get tackled for a loss. So you go to the outside. If they're not stacking the box and they stack the outside, well, then you have a softer middle and you're going to run it up the middle. Similarly here, to stop Marseille playing it through the middle, Liverpool stacked the box. And it made them go outside. And Milos Kerkez had one of the best games of his season, putting little fucking rapist boy in his pocket, and he could do absolutely nothing. And to do that against one of the most informed forwards in the season so far this year is phenomenal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and actually, so normally when you do attacking play like that, you actually don't want to be like in vertical lines like that. And one of the reasons why is because it's easy to block, but because Marseille were playing a man-to-man marking structure, it actually worked very well because it allowed you to make all you had to do was make one step, you automatically create a triangle and you have an automatic pass on. That's how we were creating chances against them. Normally in that attacking structure, you don't usually want to play in vertical lines like that. We are that narrow. You want to be in like different half or quarter spaces so that you're spacing out the players. But because Marseille play man to man, this is you break man to man by okay. Let's get very vertical. Let's get very in line. All right, make one movement, one pass, you're through on goal. That's how that Ekitike chance came up. Is Gomez to Dom, Dom to Ekitike, and they started out literally in a vertical line of each other. And all Dom had to do was go inside to his left, like the field left, or to his right because it was back to goal. And then Gomez played one ball. He got it. He passed on to Ekitike. Ekitike made the run. And that's how you build it. And that's how you build up a man-to-man marking structure. And again, that's something that you will not do. Again, this is why I say this. You will not do a man-to-man. You will not do a vertical passing structure like that unless you're playing against a man-to-man marking system. And you have to coach the players to do that because it's not normal to usually do that. Because if we were doing that in a normal game, Steve, like Burnley, they would block off the pass, and the instant like Dom got the ball, they would be like on his back like zonally, and he would have nowhere to go but back out. And so you would never get that line breaking pass. So the reason you do that at times is to
which is why you play it side to side and work around the wings and work around the shell of the defense.
I get the zonal low block.
But no, apparently that's boring.
Yeah, against a zonal low block. Yeah, if you're playing against a zonal low block that is going to that is only going to man to man, like if you give it to the middle, or they have like someone man marking the center forward, which is usually what happens. You have a double man the center forward or the 10. You try to man mark one like their best players. Again, this is not complicated defensive coaching. You can't do those types of attacking patterns. So yeah, and again, I think Kirk has had his best game. I think his delivery has been getting better and better. It just again, it sucks because you don't have Isaac, and you don't have Ekitike playing with them. Isaac, because I feel like it would help Kirkes a lot. Frimpong gets his goal again. The difference between, again, Slot said in his press conference, and I think people just don't like the fact that Slot is just very honest about his opinions, and they think he's making excuses when he's literally just explaining what happened. He like he says like, this is easier than playing against a low block. We can show our quality more. That is not him saying, oh, like the low block. Like people are reading that as him making an excuse when in fact he's like, we played much better today because we knew what we were going to play and it wasn't a low block. And lo and behold, we play better. That's not news. That's literally not new at all.
It's just people are looking for anything to bitch and moan about. Like they're micro-analyzing absolutely everything. And
it's fucking talk sport. It's talk sport moaning is the thing. It's like it's talk sport.
It's performative. It's genuinely performative in my own opinion. And I think it's just counterproductive. I think it lacks substance. And I think it's honestly low intelligence, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's probably me being a bit harsh about that. But
no, I agree.
Grown men micro-analyzing everything that he says and just not understanding as well that he's just unbelievably Dutch and they are a very blunt people. And then to turn around and say, oh well, he's not really prioritizing, the academy. And I'm like, why would he be prioritizing the academy? He's trying to stabilize the first team, you fucking bender. Like, what the fuck are you going on about? Like,
okay, this is the other thing too, and I've started using Jeffrey Epstein as a mute. I'm like, when everyone's like, "Oh, why aren't we playing Rio or Trey?" I'm like, they're 18 and 17 years old. Like fucking Jeffrey Epstein up here, play the fucking kids. I swear, put the kids in. We want to see the kids. And I'm just like there's. Why would you throw Trey Nyoni in that situation? Even Rio and Gamoa at times too. Like I feel like Slot's been reluctant to use him because like he's even mentioned this how like youth players have been getting a lot of injuries recently, and he's trying to like downplay that. And you can look at our academy. Stevan Bajcetic, 19, has like chronic injuries now.
Cade Gordon, another one.
Cade Gordon. Like
Luke Chambers, another one.
Who just
got Bradley, another one.
Who just blew out his knee. And that's not his fault. Like, that's something against Connor Bradley. Yeah, like, Joe Gomez, we bought him when he was like 17, 18. And he's pretty much been a first-team player ever since we bought him because he was really that good. We bought him from Charlton Athletic back in 2015-16. And this is the thing. It's like Slot is actively trying not to throw youth players in situations where like it won't benefit them. Like, what is the benefit where Urian Gamoa is going to come in when the team is struggling? And also we're trying to win games.
Because he's not Cody Gakpo. He doesn't cut inside and waste the ball, even though that is exactly what he does every fucking time he has the ball, because he has no end product yet. But people for some reason
he's 17.
Think he's because he does a couple of fucking step overs. Like
because he's 17.
It's this obsession with flash over substance that just pisses me off. He does the exact same thing as Cody Gakpo that people annoy.
How many goals has Jeremy Doku scored this year? People say should we buy Jeremy Doku. How many goals has Jeremy Doku scored this year?
Oh, he's probably scored like 4.
He scored 1 against us, that Thunderbolt. It's the only goal all comps.
Yeah, Premier League is just the one, yeah.
And it's the Thunderbolt against us, like that absolute Thunderbolt he puts into the top corner.
But this is my point. He's another Jeremy Doku is another example of a winger that just has so much flash but fuck all substance. Like I would rather a winger like Gakpo that's somewhat predictable but has a thunder cunt of a right foot that can put it in from anywhere. And I'm kind of like you're like, oh, I hate Cody Gakpo is going to cut inside every time, and I'm kind of like, yes, because he's right-footed playing on the right wing. Or the left wing. What the fuck do you want him to do? Do you want to go onto his weak foot?
And
what do we have here?
People say the same
Salah
thing.
Does the exact same thing. Salah cuts in on his left foot. What do you want? Do you want him to start going onto his right foot? Rio Ngamoa cuts in on his right foot. What the fuck do you want him to do? Because anytime he goes to the byline, he gets muscled off the ball. Anytime he cuts back inside, 2 defenders step over and he's immediately blocked straight away. Like, people are vastly overestimating the skill set that Rio Ngamoa has currently at the moment. And I get it. He scored a couple of goals.
He's the best wing at the club.
He's a fantastic young player. He's a fantastic young player. He's 5 years away from being any sort of day in the first team. And even then, that's half a decade. He may not make it. Like, I'm a bit worried. When I say worried, I'm not worried. I don't know if Trainioni is going to make it. He just doesn't look physically there. But, like, that could change in the next 2-3 years. He could bulk up and gain a lot of strength and really push himself out. But that's, again, he's 18. He's got another 2-3 years before he's ready for first-team football.
Yeah, I mean, and when Trainioni's played, he's looked fine. Like, he's not looking like a world beater.
He's looked like an 18-year-old.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he obviously has like the skill set of like a more mature player. But yeah, physically, like, I mean, he's not short. I mean, well, but it's also like it's revisionism. I just saw today one of the big Liverpool accounts. It's the fucking Shimahau, like the cup from Uruguay that does that count. You've probably seen them a couple of times. As we're talking about, oh, we really had this bowler in Tyler Morton. I'm like, no one was saying we should play Tyler Morton or keep Tyler Morton this year. And he's been good for.
Would you like to know a very fun statistic?
I would, actually.
In the entire time that Jurgen Klopp was here, he played Tyler Morton 9 times for a total of 500 minutes. In the entire time Arne Slot was here, which was essentially all of last season for Tyler Morton's last season with us, he played Tyler Morton 5 times for 260 minutes. So, on average, Arne Slot gave Tyler Morton more of a chance in the first team in a shorter space of time than Jurgen Klopp did. So you can miss me with that shit that he wasn't. He's playing in the French league, in a league that's much slower, much less physically impacttive, so much less intense. Of course he's going to look better. That league made Ugarte look good. That league made so many good decent players look unbelievable.
Thuram.
That league made Sofian Amrabat look good.
Well, do you know the reason why? It's 2 things. It's the Porto game, I believe, where he starts, because Klopp would throw in a youth midfielder when we were in the Champions League that run 21-22. And Thiago Alcantara gave him praise. Those are 2 things that Morton has in his book. And again, I think Tyler Morton's been great for Olympique Lyon. I think we sold him because it just made sense. And the one thing we haven't done well is we haven't sold players well. Now, there's a part of buyback clause in there, and if someone says like, actually, no, I'll bring him back, sure, I'm sure we could go in and like get a good deal with, Tyler Morton. He's homegrown, that all counts, and I'm sure we're gonna watch him until like he matures. But when was the last time a youth player for Liverpool went to another team? It was like we actually regret selling him. Can you name anyone?
I would say currently at the moment it's Jarell Kwanzaa, but that's more.
You would say Kwanzaa. I'm saying like historically, a youth player.
But the only reason I'm saying Kwanzaa is situation of circumstance that we are in dire need for a centre back. I think we would. I think Jarell Kwanzaa was good enough that we would regret selling him if he wasn't replaced. We tried to replace him. It didn't work. Okay, he didn't come through. It is what it is. That was the only reason I said it. But the crux of that is Kwanzaa wanted minutes, and we like him so much that we put a buyback in for 2 years' time, and we've already agreed his contract for when he comes back. That was agreed before he even walked out the door. So that shows how committed we are to him, that if he develops right, all of a sudden for £50 million, you have a homegrown 25-year-old centre-back with Champions League and Bundesliga experience now coming back into the squad, having 2 years of full starter minutes across multiple games across one of the more physical leagues in the world. It's a glorified loan, in my opinion. Over our entire history, players that we have sold, I believe the only one that we have sold...
Youth players.
Not even youth players, just sold and regretted it, I think was Suarez. Beyond that, I can't really think of anybody.
Which we had to
sell. But beyond that, I can't think of anybody, youth team or otherwise, that we've sold that has gone and lit the world on fire.
So, like, Harry Wilson's having the season of his life at Fulham, and he's been good for Fulham. Like, I like Harry Wilson.
Yeah, but that's how many years later, though, too, at the same time. Like, we've completely
moved on.
He's
28. Yeah.
But that's my point, like.
No, I agree.
And he's also in a heavily transitional side. If he came back to us and was playing against so many low blocks that we play against, he'd probably be shit again, like.
Yeah, and again, I just want to give that example. So like Harry Wilson is one. It is probably like the most recent one who's playing in the Premier League. Who there's no other. This is not a knock against our trend. Like Nico Williams went to Forest, and I think he's been good for Forest. Decent. Like Forest are a weird side in general. I'm trying to think of all of our youth players going through the top of my head. That have left. I mean, Trent left on a free to Madrid, and I don't say regret it, but not for free. We did get like some payment from Madrid, like $8 million or something for like a month.
I don't think we regret that sale. I think that was
I don't.
A bit of a blessing in disguise, to be honest with you.
But if we had Trent Alexander-Arnold still, I wouldn't complain. If he had signed a new deal and like didn't have that whole shebang, I wouldn't be complaining because it's Trent. Like we know his ability as well. Queven's been Brentford's best goalkeeper in a while because they had Flecken.
Yeah, again, though, I think that situation, a circumstance where.
But I like Mamardashvili more than Queven. I'm just gonna be honest. I like Mamardashvili more.
I think Kelleher's a more complete goalkeeper, but Mamardashvili has a much higher ceiling. That's the way that I look at it.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think
Kelleher right now is a much more complete goalkeeper all around. Good with the ball at his feet, can use both feet very independently, is a good shot stopper, is an elite penalty saver, and is just very calm and composed, having so many years under John Achterberg and Allison.
He's an Irish David Raya, which I don't know what that would be in Irish. It'd be like David
Ryan.
David Ryan. There we go. David Ryan. He'd be David Ryan. Who's like he's a David Raya without the press, without the Arsenal like weird press behind him.
Yeah.
As well, that's what I've always said.
Kelleher for me has the ability to win you a game, but there's a mistake in him every now and then, and that's fine. Like he's a young keeper. He's still got another 10 years in my opinion.
David Raya. He just
that's my point though. But he is a major reason for Brentford's success right now, and I think he's a more complete goalkeeper, as I mentioned, than Mamardashvili. But I think Mamardashvili has a much higher ceiling, and I think he has shades of Thibaut Courtois in him. Personally speaking, the size, the shot stopping, the range, and the saving, the 1v1 ability. He has a good penalty save in him too. I would just like to see him develop more with the ball at his feet. And I think obviously initially the team were so used to playing with two goalkeepers that could, in Allison and Kelleher, that could really play off both feet, that they weren't really so. They kept passing it to Mamardashvili's right foot, and it wasn't the foot that he needed it passed, and that was very quickly rectified the game after. But that's just one of them things. It's interesting because I think the team is going to look a whole lot different now come next season. I think they're going to get two centre backs. I think a winger is going to come in, maybe a midfielder. I don't know who, but I think this summer will be the summer of additions only and not any subtractions, so to speak.
The only subtraction I could see is Salah and Ibu, if Ibu goes on a free.
Yeah,
as well, and Robertson maybe there might be like some minor subtractions, like 3 or 4.
I would consider them minor subtractions in that Salah, you could see he's gone, in my opinion. The legs are gone. There's nothing there anymore. His touch is gone. He's lost 2 steps of pace. He can't get around men anymore. He can't win physical battles anymore. And people are saying put him in at the second striker position. I'm like, he doesn't have the height or the aerial ability to be able to play that position, nor does he have the strength to deal with 6'4", 80 kg centre backs. He just doesn't have it, and that's fine.
He is strong though. He is strong though.
I mean, he's strong. He's strong for a winger being 5'9", 5'10". But then when you go up, like, who would you fancy winning a battle right now? Virgil van Dijk or Mo Salah if they went against each other?
Of course, Virgil van Dijk, Steve. Don't gas me.
That's my point. That's my point. So if you think about it, he's going to be if he's running at like Dan Burn isn't the most athletic, but he's a big block of a fucking human. Same with Harry Maguire. Salah just can't seem to get around those kind of guys right now. He can't beat his first man anymore. His dribble is gone. His pace is gone. His threat is gone. It's almost as if it's like last season, everyone was just fucking terrified of him. And then this season, he's shown to be human. And 2 things can be true at once. We squeezed every last ounce of superstar out of him last season, and it just seems to have nothing left in the tank this season. And that's sad in a way, but it just seems to be the way that it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I agree. And normally I would say this is why I was okay with letting him go in the summer. Even Virgil to a degree, I was okay with, even though like that would be the worst thing to replace. 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I would have said that Trent was the hardest to replace because he's the most unique. I think it's Van Dijk is the hardest to replace because there's literally no center back out there like him as well. Like genuinely,
the only one I'd say that's like him would be Schlotterbeck, but that is as close as you're going to get.
Did you watch Dortmund against Spurs? They were awful. They were.
Oh, no, I'm not. Again, I didn't say he was close. I just said he's the closest thing you're going to get.
But this is the thing. Like, I don't like this is the thing about the Schlotterbeck. Like a couple of years ago, I was all in on Nico Schlotterbeck. I am so skeptical of Schlotterbeck right now. Like I am so Schlotterbeck skeptical.
But if it's like Mark Gahey and it's a market opportunity in the summer because he's only 1 year left in his deal and he's like maybe 40 million euros, same price as Mark Gahey was last summer, would you take him?
Probably, but I would want to buy like either a Van de Ven or like the young
Van de Ven.
Well, I would say like someone like Van de Ven, someone who's like pacey. Like a pacey center back.
Thank God. Okay. I'm very happy.
But I do like Mickey Van de Ven. I do like Mickey Van de Ven, but to get him out of Spurs, it would cost an arm and a leg, and I would not pay it. But I would pay
not even not paying it. The man nearly has as many injuries in his career as Spurs have clean sheets this season.
No, I agree. I agree. That's the other thing too. Why I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, but also I would.
He's had like 6 hamstring injuries in the last like 3 years. Man, his pace is going to be gone.
I'm Van de Ven curious. I did not say I was Van de Ven soul. I'm Van de Ven curious because I like
Van de Ven curious. You need Jesus.
Well, I'm a Muslim. Like so, like Jesus.
Well, you need
I don't know what you want. I already know Jesus. I have a law in my life. I have a law in my life, Steve. Listen, we'll talk about Bournemouth real quick because I think it's because we're not going to do another stream before Bournemouth. And I think that's going to be everyone's going to say like it's the game that on assault's going to be sacked. And look, at the start of the season,
don't be like Craig in the chat and saying every team for the last 6 weeks is going to pump us.
It's going to rinse us. Yeah, rinse us.
All right, fine, sure.
I know. I love Craig. Craig, if you watch this, I do love Craig. I have nothing against Craig. I know he takes a joke. Unlike 90% of that chat nowadays. Apparently, I'm a gaslighter and a scumbag for saying. For mocking them, their over negativity, for making fun of their feelings. I am a scumbag for making fun of their feelings. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I was making your fun of your feelings.
Oh yeah, and I get called out in everything that I say
about football. I'm Steve 2.0. Don't you know this? We're married too. I've already told them we're married. And I'm Steve. I'm the short. There is
no 2.0 to me. I am the original.
There can only be one Highlander. So Bournemouth,
there can only be one of me, unfortunately.
If you remember the beginning of the season, everyone was talking about when we were talking about why we looked bad, like inconsistent. It was like, well, we have a bunch of new players. And everyone said, well, look at Bournemouth. They sold half their team. And look how good they're doing. Lo and behold, Bournemouth are in
they turn out to be shit too.
Well, not shit. Like they're not like, Bournemouth. Okay, here's the thing. Like compared to what they were the start of the season, yes. If you look at like what Iraola is trying to do with them, like he sold his best players. They sold Semenyo. They sold Hoyson. They sold Kirkaz. They sold so many others, like some other good players. They sold Diango to Brentford. So they've been selling a lot of their talent that Iraola has. Like they're a team that's just been selling their best players. That's what they are. That's not a knock. That's not that they're shit. It's just that's just the reality. Like I'm pulling up their side right now. You know, like Krupi looks a decent player, but he's 19. He has those wonderful goals like he's been scoring per 90s. You know, but you know, Marcus Tavernier is their next highest goal scorer. Evan Nilsson, who they spent a lot of money on, who was decent, but I think he's just been injured. Tyler Adams is finally doing something at 26. But, you know, Justin Kluivert's been underwhelming. Alex Scott, who I think is a decent player, has been, you know, he's mid-table. David Brooks beat testicular cancer. He's back, but he's still not up to what he was. Like they're just such a.
I think the game against Bournemouth the weekend is going to be very similar to the Marseille game because they press very aggressively and they'll get
play
up the pitch very aggressively. And they play man to man. I feel it'll be a similar game to Marseille. Now, as long as we don't concede first, in my own opinion, I think we'll win that game as well. And now we've 2 wins on the trot, and Arne Slot in starts to look an awful lot more pleasing, in my opinion.
Oh, no one ever say slot in as well. Like they'll just be like it. I'm just gonna keep saying like I'm just gonna say Alonso fuming every time as well because apparently according to Indy KFC Kyla, you know, like Alonso is having meetings with Hughes and Edwards and yada yada.
Oh, he is in my bollocks. If Alonso's having meetings with Liverpool, so am I.
You never know, Steve. You never know. But I mean, listen, like, you know, Bournemouth are gonna play their 4-4-2. They're gonna play 4-2-3-1, very aggressive, like you mentioned, pressing. They're gonna be dangerous. You know, I'm not like I'm playing them down because their best player was Semenyo and he got sold. Krupi's been a bench player who's not started a lot of games, doesn't have a lot of minutes, but he is mercurial. He has popped up with some great goals. They have Adams. They have decent players. I got an argument with Carter today who said we should buy Senesi, and I'm like, are you having a laugh? Senesi.
He's 28. Well, he's free at the end of the season, but again, he's 28.
But he's bad. He's crap.
He's not bad. He's not bad. But again, he's like Semenyo. He's playing in a highly transitional side. He is not really facing low blocks and having to go on the counter. He plays an awful lot more basketball games than we would. And again, this is the thing that I continuously say over and over again. Like before, Anthony Gordon is another one from Newcastle. He plays in such a, and to be honest with you, Isak was as well. As like I think somebody said, I can't remember which Liverpool player said it before. It's one thing to do it at whatever club you're at. It's another thing to do it at Liverpool. I can't remember. It could have been Ian Rush. It could have been one of them old guys.
Oh no, it was. I think it was. I think it was Rush. Yeah, no, it was Rush.
It's one thing to score a goal for Newcastle, Arsenal, Sunderland, whatever it was, Blackburn, but it's a different thing to come here to Liverpool and do it. Like, and he's not wrong.
No, he's not
like,
wrong.
Like Konate even said it himself in an interview ages ago. If you look at the data, teams run harder against us than they do against anybody else. And that's not an opinion. That's fact.
Because it's Liverpool. Because Liverpool's the biggest club in the world. Like the biggest club in England, biggest club not the biggest club in Europe, but we're the biggest club in the English club in the world. Because obviously Madrid and the Franco fascist club of Real Madrid and the spineless cowards in Catalonia. Well, the cowards in Catalonia, spineless cowards in Catalonia. Shouldn't say that because of all the war crimes in Spanish Civil War, but you know, Barcelona in many ways, like Liverpool are the biggest club in England. Like they are. I mean, at this point, they are bigger than Manchester United, in my opinion. At this point, like I know United fans are still like United, and like the United Sky contingent that exists. You know, this is Manchester United we're talking about. I can't do a good Roy Keane accent. This is Manchester United we're talking about. You know, Michael Carrick apparently is a tactical genius, though, Steve. So he's, you know, United's going to be above us.
Don't get me wrong, Michael Carrick's a good coach. He has good tactics, but he's not a Premier League manager. I hope United get fooled into these performances and end up signing him because that'd be fucking hilarious.
they're gonna do the all I think all over again as well.
Please,
they're literally gonna do the all I think all over again as well. And again, like, listen, Maddie was saying like, oh, his tactics. I watched Michael Carrick's like Middlesbrough in his championship thing as well. Like, yeah, Carrick's like a decent English man, up and coming English man. He's English, right? He's not Scottish or Irish. He is English.
I think he's English. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget, like, you know how the English are, they colonize everything. So, you forget who's English and who's not English at this point. Like, yeah. I heard Jack Grealish, someone told me Jack Grealish was English, and so was Declan Rice. They left Ireland for England. They're like, thank you, Ireland, for giving me a platform to perform. Now I'm going to go be English.
Yep. Now. We could have had Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Jack Grealish, and Declan Rice in our starting lineup.
Yeah, sadly you're stuck with Nathan Collins, Queven Kelleher, and I forget who is your center forward that plays for Sunderland. No, Troy Parrott's one of them. He was at Spurs, decent player, but who was the guy? Who's Isidore?
Yeah,
from Sunderland. Yeah, no, I listen. Like, I think we should beat Bournemouth. It is away, but they're in a bad run of form. Their goals against is 41. I'm actually trying to pull up their XG real quick. They score 35, so we're about the same goals scored. They concede way more than we do. So if this does turn into a bit of a volleyball match, it could be one where it's like, a 3-2, 2-1, 2-2, 3-3.
Get to 3 points. I could care less about how it happens. Just get to 3 points. I would predict a Liverpool victory. So
I would too, considering the fact that we've seen to get a lot of our mental and emotional
hiccups
consistency back. Yeah. Well, I still think we have a mad 5 to 10 minutes. And I think even in that Marseille game, you saw a bit of that, but I would still back us to at this point to overcome that as well. I was actually trying to pull up before. I know you got to go soon, Steve. I wanted to pull up the XG, but I don't know why it's not coming up for stats real quick, because we're still at, we're 1.64 points a game. So not great, not at 2 points a game. However, we do have the same record.
And you look at the only reason that we're 1.64 is because of the really piss poor fucking run of form where we lost 6 or 7. If you go over the last 13 games or something like that, we're up on nearly 2 points a game.
Nah, Steve, if you go to the last 17 games arbitrarily, we have the worst record than Roy Hodgson. Worst form in 70 years. If you arbitrarily look at this one step at a time, it's the worst thing since the Second World War. And then only the third worst form since the founding of the club. Slot out.
It's so fucking stupid, man. I can't get over it. Right, show me what you want to show me now, or tell me what you want to tell me before I head off.
Oh, no, I wanted to pull up our XG per game. I don't know why it's not showing up on FBref now as well.
FBref is shit the bed. It's been taken down.
I have it right here in front of me. Are you talking about in Ireland?
No, it's Opta basically nuked it.
Oh, when did this happen? Like a week
this
ago?
Week, Opta basically nuked it and took it down. It's been all over. All the tacticos and all the guys that are data enthusiasts and everything were crying over it and saying that FBref is just, it's been shot on and nuked and destroyed.
Oh yeah, I see right here. Please share a message. Yeah, literally 2 days ago. At Sports Ref, we have taken great pride in the role of FBref. As a result, we have removed the requiring the deletion of. Let's wait to the provider of our advanced soccer data sent us a alert terminating our access to the data feeds and required the deletion of their data from their site immediately. As a result, we have removed the provider's data from FBref and StatHead and compliance to do. Stated that our use of their data violated our agreement. Their demand came unexpectedly despite our long-standing and good faith operations of FBref and StatHead. We have operated sites in a consistent manner from their creation well before the signing of this agreement through today. We have always welcomed an effort. You know why that's happening? You know why it's happening? Because all AI is going down and Opta's like, oh, we're fucked. We need to get a subscription going now. Gotta get a subscription model going because we're fucked on the revenue side, fellas. Because people stop.
But there's a couple of different sort of Streamlit apps that I have here that sort of help you.
Yeah, MB and
get
all
into
that
everything,
well.
which is cool.
God, yeah, Opta, because they're the analysts now. They probably were bought up by some conglomerate that has to churn revenue, and the only way you can churn revenue is with a subscription model because it's you're not performing, because you can't just sell the product for a license. You have to have a licensing agreement essentially. Because it's
it's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke.
That's fine. Anyways, the point I was going to say, Steve, is that we're still performing at our XG for goals, even though like the stats have worked out. We've just been conceding more than what we should have. I think we're still 4 goals over, which again,
I think we've conceded 28 in the Premier League, and we've only conceded 29 in the Premier League, and we've only conceded, I think it's about 24 XG.
Yeah. On goal, which is
like, hilarious, because the 24 XG that we've conceded is the 3rd best in the league.
Yes, but our attack has been relatively, I would say.
But this is what Slot done. He stopped the rot, stopped us conceding the silly goals, even though still some went in, and started making us more compact and more solid, and is now starting to bring back in the attacking elements and attacking play that we've now regained the confidence on the defensive side of the ball. It just so happens that we then got hit with Conor Bradley blowing his knee out, Ibrahim Konate losing his father very unfortunately. I don't think he's going to be around for the weekend either, so I expect Joe Gomez to start. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I think it's a win on the weekend, personally.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, Steve. We'll find some better data to look at as well. I do say though, and again, people who ever doubted Joe Gomez, that Marseille game shows you what peak Joe Gomez was, which is the best ball playing center back England has.
I've never had a problem with his skill set or his.
No, I know his injuries. His injuries.
It's his injuries. I've said it so many times. If he stayed fit, he would have been England's best center back, and would have dominated that position for a decade. But the problem is he's made of Weetabix, and he just can't stay fit, unfortunately.
But he's only 27, 28, so I think he should get. I honestly,
he's gone. I don't think he's able to make it at the top league anymore. Just it purely, not on a skill level, purely on a fitness level. I don't think his body can handle the schedule. I genuinely don't. Like, he's getting injections into his knee this season. Like, I know obviously a lot of footballers have that mid-season anyway, and they're always carrying something. Nobody is ever 100% when you're a footballer or you're any sort of an athlete at all. Don't get me wrong, but I just think his body is absolutely letting him down. His mind and his eye for the game and his ability in the game when he's fully fit is phenomenal. Do not get me wrong. And Van Dijk looks so much more comfortable beside him because he's such a good ball playing centre back. But the problem is he misses 30 games a season on average.
I know. Listen, see, but hear me out before we end. Let's say Gomez gets a 3. Oh, Wolfsburg's buying Charlie Cresswell. That's fun. From Toulouse. You remember Charlie Cresswell? What was
the price? Because I think they got the first bid
30.
rejected.
I think it's 30.
Oh.
Up to 30. 30 million euros. From Ornstein, 23. Right,
they had something very close to that rejected not too long ago.
It was like 28. So yeah, it's improved proposal. Oh no, it was turned down. They want excess of 30. Yeah, it was turned down. Sorry, Ornstein wrote the tweet, had re-edit the tweet. It was actually turned down, but they still want over 30. Listen, Steve, hear me out. He's turning 29. Give him like a 3-year contract, highly incentivized, low wage, and just because he's homegrown. Like, don't say no. Don't just hear me out. And he's your 4th, 5th defender. Like, sorry, your 6th defender.
I don't need to hear you out. What do you mean no?
Like
because I would rather get somebody that has more availability and maybe like 20% less skill. Because
he's like 50, but it's your fit. If we're talking about roster building, like if you're talking about having a slightly bigger squad, you need like someone who's like a veteran who's not always physically available. Your Adam Lallana's, your James Milner's, players like James Milner's.
Because that's taking up the squad position, Dan.
But he's homegrown. That's the thing. Like,
I don't give 2 fucks if he's grown in the garden out the back. I don't care. Get a different homegrown guy.
You're not a romantic, Steve.
Like, the homegrown quota is such a blow of bullshit because we're going to be losing Wataru Endo, Federico Chiesa, Mohamed Salah. 3 non-homegrown spots that open up immediately.
I know, Steve. I know. I'm just Steve.
Joe Gomez is.
You're not a romantic.
The only reason
you don't love Joe Gomez like I love Joe
Gomez. Hospital bill.
You don't love Joe Gomez like I love Joe Gomez. I follow that man through my.
I think Joe Gomez is a phenomenal center back, but he's never fit.
I know.
Availability is the best ability. I am sorry to say it. And I'd say the same about Thiago Alcantara as well. Wizard with the ball at his feet. But when you can only play every second game, you're fucking useless to us. Over the course of an entire 4-year contract. If you can only play 50% of the time and you're fit 1 year, injured the next, fit 1 year, injured the next, you're fucking useless to us. Like, genuinely. Like, and hilariously, if we could take this current slot team and put it back to then when we had Thiago, this slower build-up pace suits him.
Well, that's why we bought. That's why we bought him. We bought Thiago to play a more possession, like not tempo, change in tempo kind of decide to beat low blocks. That's the whole reason we brought Thiago Alcantara and let Genie and didn't renew Genie because we did. We transitioned to a new team. Like, part of the reason we're the team we are now was because we moved from the Genies and the Hendos and the Oxes and the Nabbies to your Thiagos, your Grabs, your McAllisters, your Doms, and your Curtis Joneses. I mean, I would say Jones and they all have athleticism to them. I think this is also another thing too. It's like they're all athletic players, different ways, but they're more like Genie Wijnaldum was great, occupying space, physicality, great brain, great every eye, could only pass the ball like 7 yards. Like, great. Like he was not, you were not going to play a metronomic player with Genie, but Genie was great at what we had him do in that side, which was do the running of 4 players with 3 players, him and Fabinho as well. And that's why you play with a double pivot. Like, part of the reason we're the side we are now is from that transition from 2020 to 2021 now. Like, so it's like, well, we're playing slow. Like, it was the same when we had Hendo, Fabinho. It was the same when we had Hendo, Milner, Genie. It was the same when we had Fabinho, Hendo, and Ox and Naby and everything else. Like, we still had the side to side. It was just Naby would smash a screamer, Ox would smash a screamer, or someone would, put it in top corner, and then you didn't have to do that as much.
That's one guy I think injuries hurt as well an awful lot is Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Oh, and Naby catered too. Like, and like Ox. Like, if Ox doesn't blow his knee out against Roma, I think we probably beat Madrid. If nothing else, that if Salah gets injured, you don't lose all your pace. And that was kind of the problem, is that after that we threw a lot on it, just didn't have the pace to threaten Madrid's line. So all right, Steve. All right. I guess we'll end it there. I know it's late for you, and
it's nearly 10 o'clock. Yeah. Dan, it has been a pleasure as always. I shall chat to you soon. Hopefully we can have one on Sunday after the maybe not Sunday. I might be watching the NFL that evening, so we'll see.
We'll do it sometime next week.
We'll do it sometime next week. We'll do it either Monday or Tuesday before the Carabao game, and we'll plan it that way. Within 2 days. Cool. Right.
Take it easy, Steve.
I will see you later. Pleasure.